video to help users understand how to set up their user account to use Needuum and how you can subscribe to see the premium information, which of course is the prices and the more detailed write-ups and information about each piece of memorabilia that's in the system. I'm going to demonstrate this first on the web because on the web there's two panels and you can see more things happening at once. Of course, on the phone you're going to see the exact same panels, but you're only going to see one at a time. So when you first log into Needuum, whether it's the first time you go into your phone or phone app once you install it, or whether it's the first time you go to the website, you're going to get this welcome banner page. So that's going to ask you whether you'd like to register to log in, or whether you'd not like to do that. If you don't want to do that, you can close that up. And what that means is now you can use the system. You don't have to be logged in to use the system, and you can do certain things. You can still do all many of the searches. For example, I'll just do a browse here. And then I can get my results and all that. However, what I can't do is I can't mark things as wanted, or I can't do saves, that sort of thing, because obviously you need to be logged in, otherwise we don't know who you are, so we can't assign those saved items to your account. So if you look at your profile, you can see that I'm not logged in right now. Therefore, the only thing, I can't save any sets, I can't mark any items as wanted, and when I do retrievals, I'm limited to 20 at a time. There's not really much point in returning hundreds of items in retrievals, because a person can't look at hundreds of sets at one time anyway. Premium access here, of course, is you can access it to look at it, but you're not able to sign up until you've got an account. So in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to login, and this time I'm going to say yes, I would like to log in. Now this is our login partner, Auth0, and these are how the identity management is managed. It's important to remember you only need to set up one account. I've got a bunch of accounts set up here, of course, because I'm trying to make sure that they all work and things work regardless of how you signed in. But you can do social media login with either Google or Facebook or Apple, or you can create your own account with your own username, and then you've got to set a password, as with most other websites. The easiest thing, of course, is the social media account. If you're going to create your own account, you have to change to sign up for the first time. This is set up to log in. So if I try and type in some credentials here for the first time, it's not going to allow me to. I have to click sign up instead of go through this screen. If you use the social media login, you can just click these on this screen and it will register you the first time automatically if you haven't registered before. And if you have registered before, it'll just log you in. So I'm going to go into sign up here. I'm going to put in a made up domain for a username, and then I'm going to put in my a password. Of course, I've got to meet the requirements there, and then I'm going to continue. And what's going to happen here is it's going to register me, but I'm unverified. So in order to continue with this account, if I continue as an unverified account, I'm going to be able to do basically the same thing as if I had never logged in. So what would have to happen is I'd have to go to my email. You're going to get an email there. You click on the link and it will verify you. And then when you've done that, you can come back here and refresh the account type, and it'll show that you're refreshed. Of course, this is a made-up email. It doesn't exist, so I can't verify this right now. If you somehow lost the email or didn't get it, you can come here and click to resend the verification email. So I'm going to actually log out now. I'm going to log in with one of my social media accounts, which is the Facebook one. And this account has been set up, again, via Facebook. And in this case, I haven't signed up for any subscriptions. So here I am. I've got an account. I'm verified, and it's a free type of account, and I can still use the system. And now I can retrieve a few more sets per search. I can save up to 80 sets, and I can mark up to 200 items as items that I'm interested in wanting to collect. So that's all available without any any payment whatsoever. It's a free account. And if I was to go in here and search for these things, as you can see, the premium screen won't come up on the right hand side because I'm not a subscriber. However, if I was to pick one of these items and then go to premium, it's going to ask me whether I'd like to subscribe. So I can subscribe on the fly if I try and go into the premium while I'm looking at items, or I can go into the user profile and go here to subscribe. So if I was wanting to subscribe, I can subscribe to either the Canadian football or the vintage hockey. I go in here. Actually, before I do that, you have to pick the currency you want. You pick the currency one time, depending on whether you're going to be in whether you want to pay in Canadian dollars or U.S. dollars. Of course, typically Canadians would pay in Canadian, and the Americans would pay in U.S. dollars. Once you've made that selection, you can't change it. So if I was to change this here, it'll change the amounts to appropriate for the currency. So I go in here and I'm going to say, okay, here's what I get. It's a certain amount per month. It renews every 6 months. All the information is there. Here's the different types of information that has been loaded and what the premium access gives you. And if I click here, I'm going to get a Stripe console here. So I've got to type in my name. I put in my credit card, and I put in my expiry date and my code. If I'm in Canada, I can preview the tax amount by typing in my postal code, and it'll tell me what it works out to. So because I'm in Alberta, of course it's reasonably uninsane, but if I'm in some other provinces, it's going to be more. At the present time, there's no state tax collected for American subscriptions. So if I click this subscription button here, which I won't do, but if I click it, it's going to process for a few seconds, and it's going to come back and tell me up here that I have received the access. Once I've done that, I'm going to log out here actually again, because I'm in the same browser. I can't have a bunch of windows open with different accounts logged in. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to log in with my Google social media account. Which is a subscription account. So if I go into my profile here and look at my subscriptions, you can see that it indicates that I have the access and I purchased it. And if I go in here, well, this would have been the screen that came up if you went through with the Stripe payment. So on the web, the payments go through Stripe. On the App Store for iPhone, it goes through the App Store payments in Apple, and on the Android, it goes through the Google Play Store payments for Android. We would prefer that people actually sign up via the web, and that way the commission that Stripe takes is, I think, considerably less than what the big tech companies take. Needuum there's no ads in Needuum whatsoever. We're fully a subscription-based model, so we need the subscriptions to cover off the cost of what the infrastructure costs for to run the system. And so hopefully that happens. So now that I have this access here, of course, now if I go in here and do a search, automatically when I select something, the premium panel comes up. You can see all the images, the write-ups, the prices show up. That's basically what the subscription is for. You get the extra premium information and the pricing that has been set up in the system. I'm going to display how this works in the subsequent video on the two phones, just so you can see how that works when you're on the mobile device. One thing I forgot to mention that's actually very important, regardless of which platform you subscribe on, whether it's the iPhone or the Android or the web, your subscription is good across all three platforms. So if I can sign up on the Android, and then if I also have an iPhone, and when I log in, I'll have the premium there. When I go to the web, I'll have the premium there. I can sign up on the web, and it'll work on either of my phone devices if I install the app or if I run the web version on the mobile browser. So the important thing to remember is, set up one account, subscribe with that one account, and it'll work everywhere. If you have a situation like actually I do, where I use my same primary email for Facebook that I do for other things, and when I oftentimes create accounts, I use that email. You don't want to do that. You only want to have one account. The system will consider an account signed up with an email where you supplied the password and an account registered through social media as separate accounts, even though it's the same email. So if you sign up with multiple ways and you purchase a subscription in one of those ways, it'll only be valid for that account, not for all your accounts with the same email. The other last thing I wanted to just mention here is once you're signed up, you can manage. You can go to a portal that is generated for you on Stripe and see your subscriptions, and you can manage them there as well. You can cancel them if you're tired of it, or you like to stop having it renew every 6 months. This is actually in test mode, and that's why that little banner is there. But the cancellation policy is based on the cancellation policy for each phone and for Stripe. So basically, when you cancel, you're still valid until your subscription runs out, and then after that, it won't renew.